There are crowns that aren't passed down through ceremony, but seized in the shadows. Princess Kate Catherine is admired, celebrated, and handpicked by Queen Elizabeth II as the spiritual heir to a legacy. But for Camilla, that was never enough. To her, the Cartier Halo isn't just a tiara, it's the last symbol she still can't control. Because even with the title of Queen Camilla remains in the shadow of another woman, this time her daughter-in-law. Within the quiet halls of Buckingham Palace, an unspoken battle is quietly unfolding between the one who holds the throne and the one chosen to carry the memory of a monarchy. One seeks to erase what she could never claim. The other is determined never to let it vanish. The crown hasn't changed hands, but the war for it has already begun. And this time, only one woman will emerge into the light. Under the dazzling glow of massive crystal chandeliers in Buckingham Palace's Grand Hall, the air hums with formality and authority, as if time itself has paused to witness a historic moment. The British royal family from King Charles III, resplendent in a perfectly tailored ceremonial suit to the princes, duchesses, and children of royal blood, gathers in a scene of breathtaking splendor, poised to capture an official portrait, a symbol of unity and the enduring strength of the monarchy. Cameras flash relentlessly, each face meticulously composed. Prince William's radiant smile, Princess Charlotte's gentle gaze, and King Charles's stern dignity. But amidst the sea of eyes, one figure commands the room's attention, stealing the breath of everyone present. Princess Catherine, adorned with the Cartier Halo Tiara, shimmering like a halo atop her glossy brown hair. The tiara, once a cherished treasure of Queen Elizabeth II, now enhances Catherine's elegant beauty and undeniable charisma. Each exquisitely crafted diamond seems to whisper tales of power, legacy, and succession. The light from the precious stones dances across her face, creating a vision of perfection, a new icon of the monarchy seemingly destined to carry forward the radiance of legends like Princess Diana and Queen Elizabeth. The public, through the lenses of the media capturing every moment, cannot look away. Reporters murmur among themselves, "She is the future of the crown." But in the shadowed corner of the room, a solitary figure watches, her eyes sharp as a dagger. Queen Camilla. Camilla, draped in a deep green silk gown embroidered with gold thread, stands motionless, her face a mask of composure. Yet her hands clutching a silk handkerchief so tightly that her knuckles whiten, betray her feigned calm. As the largest diamond on the tiara catches the light, Camilla's eyes flash, not with admiration, but with a smoldering fire of jealousy burning within her chest. To her, the Cartier Halo is more than a priceless jewel. It is a symbol of ultimate power, of the recognition she has fought a lifetime to earn, from the years of public scorn as the other woman in Charles and Diana's marriage, to her controversial ascension to queen, and now it rests on the head of someone she deems unworthy. Catherine, an outsider with no royal blood, a woman Camilla believes stumbled into the monarchy through William's love. Catherine, as if sensing the piercing gaze from the corner, tilts her head slightly, letting the tiara's light sparkle once more. She offers a gentle smile to the photographers, but in that fleeting moment her eyes meet Camilla's, a brief charged glance laden with meaning, as if both women know the tiara is not merely jewelry, but the spark igniting a silent war about to erupt. The public may not notice, but within the palace's corridors of power, the tension simmers just beneath the surface. As the photo shoot concludes, the royals disperse from the Grand Hall. Children's laughter, the echo of footsteps on marble floors, and polite exchanges among guests paint a picture of perfect harmony. But Camilla lingers. Her gaze remains fixed on Catherine's retreating figure, the tiara still gleaming like a wordless challenge. With an almost imperceptible gesture, she summons Sir Edward, her trusted advisor, who has weathered countless storms by her side, and leads him to an adjacent private chamber. The heavy oak door closes, sealing them off from the outside world. In the dim flickering light of a single candle, Camilla sits, her hands clasped tightly. Her voice cuts through the silence, cold and sharp as a blade. That tiara belongs to the royal collection. It should not rest on the head of someone without royal blood. Ensure it is returned to its rightful place, a display case where it belongs. Sir Edward, a gaunt man with silver hair and piercing eyes, nods slowly, but a storm brews within him. He knows the history of the Cartier Halo, a treasure Queen Elizabeth II guarded not just for its material value, but for its spiritual significance. Worn by her in moments of great import, it was later bestowed upon Catherine as a mark of spiritual succession. Camilla's request, cloaked in the guise of protecting royal heritage, is unmistakably a direct strike at Catherine. Sir Edward senses this is no mere administrative order. It is the opening salvo in a relentless battle between two women representing different generations' legacies and visions for the monarchy's future. That night, in the faint glow of a desk lamp at Clarence House, Sir Edward drafts an internal memo proposing that the Cartier Halo be reclassified as a national treasure, restricting its use by any individual, including Catherine. The letter, sent in secrecy with Camilla's approval, is like an arrow loosed from the shadows. But Camilla is unaware that at Kensington Palace, hidden in a safe behind an ancient painting, Catherine holds a secret with the power to change everything: a handwritten letter from Queen Elizabeth II, its elegant script in unequivocal words declaring, "The Cartier Halo is a keepsake for Catherine, my spiritual heir." This secret, like a ticking time bomb, awaits its moment to detonate. The Cartier Halo Tiara, seemingly just a piece of jewelry, has become the epicenter of a power struggle where ambition, envy, and legacy collide in the shadows. When the light finally shines, only one woman will stand tall, but will it be Catherine or Camilla? The answer lies in the secrets yet to be unveiled, and the entire monarchy will tremble when the truth is revealed. Let's rewind to a spring night in 2011, when the air at Clarence House buzzed with anticipation and expectation. In a delicately decorated room, Catherine Middleton, Prince William's bride-to-be, stood before a mirror. Her hands trembled slightly as she held a simple wedding garland, its tiny white flowers symbolizing purity and humility. But deep within, a question gnawed at her: should she choose a royal jewel for her momentous day, or stay true to the simplicity that defined her? At that moment, the door creaked open. Camilla entered, her regal presence commanding, in a flowing silk gown, a smile on her lips, but ice in her eyes. She appraised Catherine from head to toe, not as a bride, but as a rival. With a voice sweet yet laced with coercion, Camilla spoke. "A tiara will ensure you're properly recognized in the royal family, Catherine. A royal bride cannot lack radiance. Let me choose something worthy for you." Catherine smiled faintly, her voice soft but resolute. "Thank you, but I'd like to consider it further." In that instant, their eyes locked, one brimming with the confidence of a woman about to enter the royal fold, the other wary from years of navigating treacherous waters. Camilla left, but a seed of unease took root within her. This young woman, with her gentle demeanor, was not as pliable as she had assumed. The next day, as Catherine walked into Westminster Abbey, the world held its breath. The Cartier Halo Tiara, its diamonds sparkling like stars, crowned her ethereal beauty. From the streets of London to television screens worldwide, the public was transfixed by the royal bride. But few knew that the decision to wear the tiara was not Camilla's, nor was it random. Queen Elizabeth II, with her characteristic subtlety and foresight, had personally suggested Catherine wear the Cartier Halo. To the Queen, it was more than jewelry. It was a baton of legacy, a silent decree that Catherine was chosen to carry forward the spirit of the monarchy, a spirit embodied by Princess Diana and the Queen herself, not Camilla. As Catherine emerged wearing the tiara, Camilla, seated in the place of honor, felt her heart constrict. Her smile froze, her hands gripping her feathered fan as if to snap it. That night, while the world swooned over the modern Cinderella, Catherine Camilla stood alone in her bedroom at Clarence House. Staring into the mirror, her hand touched her bare neck, and she whispered to herself, her voice trembling with anger and pain. "Again, it's Diana, this time with a different face." From that moment, Camilla waged a covert, sophisticated yet ruthless campaign. She wielded her influence to diminish Catherine's presence. Catherine's public engagements were rescheduled, relegating her to events with minimal media coverage. Her speeches were edited to be more proper, stripping away her individuality and charisma. Camilla even spread whispers among the aristocracy that Catherine, though beloved, lacked the innate nobility of those born into royalty. But Catherine was not one to be easily subdued. With razor-sharp intelligence and rare patience, she navigated each obstacle. Every smile, every act of kindness, Every appearance became an opportunity to solidify her image. The public began calling her the jewel of the monarchy, a title once reserved for Diana. To Camilla, this was an intolerable threat. Thus began the silent war between these two women. The Cartier Halo, seemingly just a piece of jewelry, became the spark igniting a fierce battle for power. Back to the present. At dawn in Kensington Palace, soft sunlight filters through the royal garden's trees, casting a golden glow over the lush green lawns. This is where Catherine and William chose to host Prince Louis's sixth birthday, a simple picnic reflecting their modern, down-to-earth parenting style. Catherine, beaming with warmth, personally prepared tiny sandwiches, baskets of fresh fruit, and a dinosaur-shaped birthday cake Louis adored. She wanted her children, despite their royal blood, to experience the carefree moments of childhood, free from the palace's stifling formality. But 3 hours before the party, a message from Clarence House arrived like a bucket of ice water. A nervous young secretary handed Catherine an envelope bearing the royal seal. Its contents were brief but cutting. The picnic was cancelled for security reasons. Instead, an indoor celebration would take place in one of Buckingham Palace's grand banqueting halls under the direct oversight of King Charles and Queen Camilla. Catherine read the note, her hands gripping the table's edge, her jaw clenched to suppress her anger. She knew security was a pretext. This was Camilla's power play, turning Louis's joyful day into a political spectacle. For the sake of royal harmony, Catherine acquiesced, but within her a fire of defiance smoldered. She looked at Louis scampering through the garden with a paper crown on his head and vowed, "I won't let my son lose his joy, even for a day." The banqueting hall at Buckingham was opulent, but oppressive, more suited to a state ceremony than a 6-year-old's birthday. Heavy crimson drapes, silk-covered tables, and dozens of meticulously arranged rose bouquets created a lavish yet cold atmosphere. Louis, in a tiny navy suit, sat quietly at the head table, his young eyes betraying disappointment. Used to outdoor play, he fidgeted restlessly, his small feet swinging beneath the chair. Catherine, seated beside him, tried to cheer him with stories about the dinosaur cake, but Louis's smile remained forced. When Camilla entered the room, fell into a tense hush. Dressed in an emerald gown with a small tilted hat, she exuded regal authority, but her practiced smile couldn't mask its artificiality. She approached Louis, bending down with a voice sweet yet chilling. "Happy birthday, little prince. Today is a very special day, isn't it?" Louis looked up, his wide eyes meeting hers. He said nothing. Instead, he turned away, leaning into his sister Charlotte, who sat beside him with a worried expression. Then, in a clear, childish whisper loud enough for nearby staff to hear, he said, "I hate her. She is not my queen." The room seemed to lose all air. Every eye, from guests to servants, turned to Camilla. Her face paled, her lips pursed, but her smile held rigid as a mask. A few hushed murmurs broke out quickly, stifled by the eerie silence. Catherine, with a mother's instinct, rose, immediately scooping Louis into her arms and hurrying him out. She whispered in his ear, her voice gentle but trembling, "It's okay, my love. Mummy's here." In the palace's cold corridor, Catherine held Louis, tightly feeling his racing heartbeat. She didn't blame him, but her heart was heavy. Louis's words, though innocent, had torn through the facade, hiding the royal family's tensions. When William learned of the incident, he stood still, his eyes darkening like a storm. After a long pause, he said, his voice low but certain. No one taught him that. He felt it. Louis's words spread like wildfire through the palace corridors. From lowly staff to senior advisors, all whispered of the forbidden utterance of the young prince. To many, it was more than a child's outburst. It was the voice of truth, a truth the monarchy had tried to conceal, the unrelenting clash between Camilla and the Wales family. And that spark, once ignited, would not be easily extinguished. In the dimly lit study at Clarence House, the bronze desk lamp casts a faint glow, illuminating only a small corner where Camilla sits alone. Before her lies a stack of yellowed newspapers, their pages preserving vivid images of Princess Diana. In every photo, Diana is the focal point, her radiant smile, expressive eyes, and magnetic charm captivating all. The public adored her, idolized her, and even after her passing, her shadow looms over the monarchy like an inescapable curse. Camilla flips through the pages, her hands trembling slightly. But it's not just Diana that pains her. Now another face is emerging, Catherine. The public gazes at Catherine with the same adoration, the same love they once gave Diana. Each of Catherine's appearances, from international tours to simple charitable acts, stirs the hearts of millions. To Camilla, this is an obsession she cannot endure. William, Diana's son, grows ever more like his mother in his steadfastness and loyalty. He not only protects Catherine, but publicly champions her as a modern royal icon. Recently, a minor protocol error saw Camilla positioned behind Catherine while greeting international dignitaries. Though a technical oversight, it was the final straw. Camilla felt insulted, overshadowed by someone she deemed unworthy, an outsider, daring to stand above her, the Queen. That night, Camilla convened a private meeting in a secluded room at Clarence's house. Only three were invited: Sir Edward Langley, her trusted advisor; Lady Margaret Voss, her media manager; and a royal lawyer specializing in heritage. In the dim light, Camilla's voice rang out, no longer concealing her resolve. From now on, all symbols tied to Queen Elizabeth II, especially the Cartier Halo Tiara, must be tightly controlled. Catherine cannot keep using it to build her image. We will return the tiara to the royal collection where it belongs. Sir Edward nodded, but his eyes betrayed concern. He knew the Cartier halo was more than jewelry. It was the emblem of a legacy Queen Elizabeth II had entrusted to Catherine, a legacy Camilla sought to seize. Lady Margaret cautiously suggested we could cite maintenance or inventory as reasons to temporarily remove the tiara from Catherine's use. But the public will notice. They love her. Camilla smirked, her eyes glinting with ruthlessness. The public, it doesn't matter who they love. What matters is who controls the narrative. But Camilla didn't realize that to Catherine, these jewels were more than ornaments. The Cartier halo was a reminder of duty, of her promise to Queen Elizabeth II to uphold the monarchy's spirit, a spirit of compassion, unity, and virtue. And Catherine, with her patience and wisdom, would not let Camilla strip away that legacy easily. The war between the two women was no longer covert. It had become a public battle, with the Cartier halo at the heart of every gaze. Would Camilla succeed in dimming Catherine's radiance? Or would Catherine find a way to protect her legacy and the monarchy's future? The next secrets lurking in the palace's shadows would soon come to light. Under the gray, foreboding sky of an early spring evening, Buckingham Palace lies in ominous silence. Cold winds sweep through the marble corridors, carrying the chill of a season in flux, not just in weather, but in the heart of the monarchy. Amid this tension, an internal memo circulates within the royal household, quiet but sharp as a hidden blade. The Cartier Halo Tiara is temporarily withdrawn from public use for inventory and maintenance. The news spreads like a venomous whisper, from junior clerks to powerful advisors, sowing unease in every corner of the palace. At Kensington Palace, in the cozy sitting room where Catherine reads to her three children, the announcement lands like a piercing blade, cutting deep into her heart. She closes the book, her hands trembling as she sets it down. George, Charlotte, and Louis look up at their mother, their young eyes sensing the shift, though they don't understand why. Catherine smiles faintly, her voice soft but tinged with a quiver. "Mummy needs a moment. Keep reading with Daddy, okay?" When the door to her private room closes, Catherine's composure dissolves like mist before a gale. She stands motionless, fists clenched, a smoldering anger flaring within. Not from wounded pride, but from the sacred meaning of the tiara, the symbol Queen Elizabeth II entrusted to her as an eternal mandate. With resolute steps, she opens a hidden safe behind an antique painting and retrieves a small velvet box. Inside is the Queen's handwritten letter, its elegant yet forceful script, a testament to her will. The Cartier halo is a keepsake for Catherine, my spiritual heir. It is not merely jewelry, but a symbol of virtue and loyalty. Catherine rereads each line, her fingers tracing the ink, as if touching the legacy of that great woman. The tiara is not just diamonds and gold. It is a vow, a duty she swore to uphold. She hands the letter to William, her eyes blazing with unshakable resolve. "You need to speak to your father," she says, her voice low but sharp as a blade. "Camilla cannot take what Granny left for me." William nods, his eyes darkening like a gathering storm. He understands the weight of this moment, not just a fight for a tiara, but a battle to protect his mother's legacy and his family's future. That night in King Charles's study at Clarence's house, The air is thick with the tension of an impending war. William enters, his demeanor calm, but radiating the unyielding presence of a future king. He places the Queen's letter on the desk before his father. His voice is steady, each word a hammer strike. If you want to uphold tradition, start by honoring Mother's final wishes. This tiara does not belong to the royal collection, nor to Camilla. It belongs to Catherine as Granny intended. Charles, his face weary and eyes heavy, stares at the letter. He is caught in a painful divide: loyalty to Camilla, the wife who stood by him through decades of turmoil and duty, to William, the son who carries the monarchy's future. He opens his mouth, his voice hoarse. William, you don't understand. Camilla only wants to protect the royal heritage. But William interrupts, his tone icy. Protect or seize. You know what Granny wanted. If you side with Camilla, you're betraying her. William's words cut like a knife, leaving Charles rigid. He falls silent, his hands clasped tightly, unable to respond. William turns away, his eyes sharp as steel. If you won't act, I'll do what's necessary to protect my family. Camilla, though absent, learns every detail through an urgent call from her secretary. In her private quarters, she sits motionless, her hands gripping a wine glass so tightly it creaks. William's words, like a declaration of war, make her feel the real threat, not just from Catherine, but from the heir to the throne. The jealousy that has simmered since Catherine first wore the tiara now erupts into an uncontrollable blaze. But instead of retreating, Camilla doubles down with ruthless determination. She summons Sir Edward Langley and orders, her voice cold as ice, plain, an exhibition, Forgotten Crowns of the Monarchy. Start with the Cartier Halo. I want it displayed as a museum piece, no longer belonging to anyone, especially Catherine. Sir Edward, though loyal, cannot hide his unease. Your Majesty, the public will react. They adore Catherine. Camilla cuts him off, her eyes blazing with resolve. The public, they'll forget her when I reshape the narrative. This tiara will be a relic, not anyone's symbol. For Camilla, this is the decisive blow to strip the tiara of its meaning and extinguish Catherine's radiance. But she doesn't anticipate that in the palace's shadows, another secret waits to explode, a secret with the power to shake the entire monarchy. Camilla's plan seems flawless, a carefully calculated move in the chess game of power. But fate has a way of unraveling even the most intricate schemes. On a gloomy morning, as London drowns in thick fog, a front-page article in The Guardian sends shockwaves across the nation. The bold headline screams, Cartier Halo Tiara, Queen Elizabeth II's legacy, stolen by Queen Camilla. The article quotes an anonymous royal archivist, a 4-decade servant of Queen Elizabeth II, who speaks with raw emotion. The Cartier Halo Tiara was not forgotten, nor was it unclaimed. It was personally chosen by the Queen to be given to Catherine, Princess of Wales. It was her personal wish, a mandate for Catherine to carry forward the monarchy's spirit. The news ignites like wildfire, spreading from the Times to tabloids, from online forums to heated debates on London streets. The public, already enamored with Catherine for her warmth and dedication, erupts in outrage. Headlines grow sensational: Queen usurps symbol and Camilla's crown war. Images of Catherine's gentle smile and resolute eyes juxtaposed with Camilla's stern visage create a stark contrast in the minds of millions. Reading the article in her Kensington Palace office, Catherine cannot hide her emotion. She grips William's hand, her voice trembling. They know. The public knows the truth. William squeezes her hand, his eyes a mix of pride and fury. Camilla's gone too far. She'll pay for this. At Clarence House, Camilla is nearly unhinged by the Guardian's headline. She hurls the paper onto the table, her voice a hiss as she turns to Sir Edward. Who dared do this? Who betrayed me? Sir Edward, struggling to stay composed, cannot mask his worry. We need to control the narrative, Your Majesty. The public is siding with Catherine. But Camilla, fueled by the arrogance of past victories, dismisses the warning. Control, I'll crush her. She orders a formal statement claiming the tiara's withdrawal was to protect royal heritage and that the upcoming exhibition will honor the monarchy's history. But the statement, far from quelling the storm, only fuels it. Pressure mounts within the royal family. Princess Anne, typically reserved but revered for her candor, breaks her silence in a rare BBC interview. With a calm yet cutting tone, she declares, "Catherine is the only one I see upholding my mother's spirit. That tiara belongs to her, no one else." The monarchy doesn't need power games to prove its worth. Anne's words like a fatal blow pierce Camilla. The public cheers, newspapers quote her verbatim, and support for Catherine surges. Within the palace, tension is palpable, like a taut string about to snap. Camilla's once loyal advisors waver. One whispers to a colleague, "She's digging her own grave." Catherine isn't just a princess, she's a symbol. For the first time in years, Camilla feels her power falter. She withdraws from public events citing health reasons and locks herself in her Clarence house quarters. Alone, she stands before a mirror, staring at her weary reflection. The jealousy and ambition that once drove her now mingle with a rare sense of helplessness. She underestimated Catherine, not just a princess, but a symbol cherished by a nation. Meanwhile, at Kensington Palace, Catherine and William plan their next move. "We need to let the public see the truth," Catherine says, her voice resolute. William nods, his eyes gleaming with determination. "And we'll do it the way Granny would have wanted, with truth and loyalty." The story doesn't end here. In the palace's shadows, another secret prepares to surface, a secret that could forever alter the battle for the Cartier Halo. The conflict between Camilla and Catherine has reached its zenith, and when the light shines, only one will stand tall. On September 8, 2023, the United Kingdom is steeped in the solemnity of the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's passing, the longest reigning monarch in history, whose legacy endures not only in politics, but in the hearts of millions. Buckingham Palace Square, usually bustling with tourists, is cloaked in reverent silence. Thousands of people, from elderly witnesses of the Queen's coronation to children who know her only through books, gather clutching white flowers and memento photos. They come to mourn, but also to seek hope in the monarchy's turbulent transition. Amid the crowd, Princess Catherine steps forward, her understated elegance unmistakable. Dressed in a simple black gown with a white flower pinned to her collar, she wears no jewelry, a deliberate choice, letting her compassion and humility speak for her. The absence of the Cartier Halo Tiara, now the centerpiece of controversy, hushes the crowd. Some whisper, "She doesn't need a crown to shine." Yet a pang of longing lingers. They yearn to see Catherine, the Queen's spiritual heir, reclaim that symbol. William, by her side, grips her hand tightly, his eyes a blend of resolve and emotion. He knows the weight of this day, not just for the memorial, but for what lies ahead. Over the past weeks, he and Catherine have quietly prepared a bold move, one that could redefine the Cartier Halo's story and the monarchy's future. At noon, as Big Ben's chimes echo, the unexpected unfolds. The massive digital screen in Buckingham Square, meant to replay Queen Elizabeth II's historic moments, shifts. The crowd gasps as the Queen's familiar face appears, not in old footage, but in an unreleased video. Seated in her Balmoral Castle study, her eyes resolute, her voice warm, yet commanding, she speaks, "Among all jewels, I kept only those tied to loyalty. And the Cartier Halo Tiara, I wish it to be given to Catherine, who understands that power lies not in gems, but in virtue." The Queen's words sweep through the square like a mighty wind. The crowd erupts in applause, tears streaming down faces. Many raise their phones to capture this historic moment, while others embrace, feeling a profound connection to the Queen's legacy. The video, found in her private archives and secretly prepared by William for the memorial, is more than a personal message. It's a public proclamation, a devastating blow to any plot to strip Catherine of her inheritance. William steps to the podium, holding a black velvet box that gleams silver in the faint sunlight. He opens it, revealing the Cartier Halo Tiara, radiant as a halo. The crowd falls silent, hearts pounding. With gentle reverence, William lifts the tiara and places it on Catherine's head before thousands of witnesses. The diamond's light dances across her face, highlighting her serene beauty and silent strength. Catherine doesn't cry. She smiles, her gaze forward, a quiet vow to carry the Queen's legacy through any storm. Applause roars again, fiercer, unending. On social media, Kate wears, it again explodes with millions of posts praising Catherine and condemning Camilla. One user writes, "This is the true royal moment. Catherine embodies Queen Elizabeth, and no one can replace her." Another shares a photo of Catherine in the tiara, captioned, "Camilla lost. The legacy belongs to the worthy." In a secluded room at Clarence's house, Camilla sits alone, eyes glued to the live broadcast. She watches every second William's resolute gaze, Catherine's radiant smile, the crowd's relentless cheers. Her hands tremble, the wineglass on her table crashing to the marble floor. Tears stream down her face, not from emotion, but from the bitter sting of defeat. She has lost not just to Catherine, but to the enduring memory of Queen Elizabeth II and the public's fierce love for timeless symbols. Camilla turns from the screen, gazing out the window where rain begins to fall. The jealousy and ambition that once fueled her now give way to a cold void. She realizes that no matter how many crowns she wears, she cannot embody what Catherine represents: compassion, elegance, and a heart devoted to the monarchy and nation above all. The Cartier Halo story doesn't end at Buckingham Square. It reverberates worldwide, a symbol of a covert war between past and future power and virtue. Catherine, with patience and loyalty, has proven that a legacy cannot be stolen. The tiara, though mere jewelry, carries the weight of memory of a great queen, a beloved princess, and now a princess writing a new chapter for the monarchy. Camilla, despite her ambition, must face the truth: a crown does not make a queen. In the days following the memorial, she reappears, but her eyes have changed. Gone is the arrogance, replaced by quiet resignation. The public, though unforgiving, loses interest. To them, Catherine is the unassailable icon, and the Cartier Halo is her testament. In the public's heart, the Cartier Halo's tale will forever remind us what belongs to the heart will always find its way home. And in the hearts of millions, Catherine is not just the Princess of Wales. She is the keeper of Queen Elizabeth II's flame, a light that will never fade.